Number one food for the microbiome is bread.
Okay. I told you! You're going to love him!
So, pumpernickel bread.
I'm eating bread. I'm having chocolate.
Sourdough bread. Pumpernickel's actually made with rye flour, which actually lowers a harmful bacteria that creates toxins, so you lower inflammation. Sourdough bread's actually made with a healthy bacteria called Lactobacillus reuteri that not only boosts our immune system and in the lab can fight cancer, but it causes our brains to release oxytocin, which is the feel-good hormone we get a good hug.
Feel good and have some sourdough grilled cheese. Yeah!
This is one of the most common questions I get asked on a daily basis. Mark, can I eat bread? Which one would you recommend? Brown bread, white bread, sourdough, gluten-free. Now see, if you guys are metabolically flexible, you guys can probably get away with this shit. Okay, we need to understand this, that not everybody is the same. Okay, what works for one person may not work for you. And for the majority of you watching me right now, then eating these foods in moderation may not work. Okay, because this is what I see on a daily basis. I see when we take these foods out, then you guys get the results that you want. Okay, and this is what I'm going to talk about today. I want to talk more about food addiction because this is where we're all going wrong. We're absolutely convinced that we can eat these foods in moderation, and then when you guys are struggling, you're struggling with your hunger, you're struggling with your cravings, you're not getting the results that you need. This is the reason why. Let me explain. Reason number one, when you guys go out and buy these foods, okay, you go out and buy these fucking brands, you need to be checking the labels. Because this is where I see an awful lot of people make this mistake. They pick up these breads because they look at the front and it says low calorie, high fiber, and they fall into this trap. But guys, you need to look at the ingredients. Most of these breads are highly processed. They've got a shitload of ingredients in them. They will have an impact on your gut, and they will lead to inflammation. Reason number two, guys, no matter what bread you pick up, okay, no matter which one it is, these are a form of carbohydrates. Now you need to understand this. I keep saying this. We do not need any carbohydrates to function, okay? I don't give a shite what these experts tell you. Third reason, guys, we need to understand the impact these foods are going to have on the body, the hormonal reaction. Now, if you guys are eating these foods on a regular basis, then we're giving the body more room to secrete insulin, okay? If insulin is elevated on a regular basis, guys, and it's too high, you guys are going to struggle. You're going to struggle because you're going to notice things like your hunger. You're going to notice that you're going to have these regular cravings on a regular basis, and you're not going to understand why. You're not going to understand why you have to eat every couple of hours. You guys are eating every couple of hours is because you have too much sugar in the blood. Too much sugar in the blood, guys, will cause problems, okay? Trust me on this. Fourth reason. Now, I'm going to talk about insulin resistance. Now, if you guys are struggling with any of these, let me tell you right now, this is not down to you guys getting older. This is not just down to genetics. These issues didn't just magically happen for no particular reason. Guys, this is all down to the amount of sugar we're putting into the body. Okay, and this is as I said, this is the information that we're not getting. Okay, we're all focusing on the wrong problem. We're just absolutely convinced we just need to lose weight, we just need to count the calories, and we'll be healthy. But if you guys are developing these issues, all of a sudden, for no particular reason, you need to question this shit. You need to ask yourself, okay, why am I getting these problems in the first place? And like I said, it's down to you guys eating too much sugar. Now, before I go on, watch this video.
The biggest lie in the diabetes world is that carbohydrates are bad for you. And I'm going to show you exactly why. Now, there's two types of carbohydrates. There's the refined carbohydrates that you get from things like breads and tortilla chips and cookies and crackers and chips and pastas and breads and sodas. Then there's also the whole carbohydrates, which you get from things like potatoes and apples and persimmons and sweet potatoes and beans and quinoa and other fruits. Now, the two types of carbohydrate are fundamentally different than one another because this form of carbohydrate has very little fiber in it. It's
bread. I've heard all the stories. How much better you felt when you cut it out, or that you lost a load of weight. And I'm not going to argue with you about that, but I do want to deal with some of the facts. These different slices of bread, white, whole grain, whole wheat, can all be used in different contexts. Are some digested at different rates and do have a slightly different nutrition profile? They do, but it's not as different as you might think. Take the white bread, 1 gram of fibre, 3 grams of protein, 17 grams of carbohydrate, and around the 90 calorie mark, which is not all that different than the other slices. So we're looking at about 2 grams or so of fibre.
This is the problem right here, guys. We're listening to the wrong people. They just don't get it. They just don't understand how this works. They don't understand how this impacts the body. They'll come up with this bullshit about we can eat these complex carbohydrates, we can eat these fruits, but they just don't understand that sugar is sugar and it's going to impact the body the same way. Now, I only did a video on this the other day and I spoke about fibre. We do not need any fibre at all, guys. Now, the confusion is this. If we add in fibre, if we're eating a shitload of carbohydrates, will it slow down the absorption of glucose going into the blood? Will it prevent glucose from going into the blood? Yes, it will. It will slow it down. But guys, you need to answer to yourself this. You need to answer this question, and you need to go back and ask these people, where does the glucose come from in the first place? And that comes from eating too many fucking carbohydrates, and that includes fruits also. Now let's talk about heart disease, because this is a big issue right now. This is probably this still is the biggest killer in the world. Now bear this in mind. Every single one of us are on a low-fat diet, but they always blame it on fats. They always blame it on we're eating too much saturated fats. They're blaming it on processed food. This is common sense. But then they come up with this bullshit that you guys are just eating too much. You're lazy. You're not disciplined. You're not counting your calories accurate enough. Now see, here's the problem, guys. This is the issue right here. They don't understand what food addiction is. Now, if you guys are consuming too much sugar, this is an addiction. You're eating these foods on a regular basis because you enjoy these foods. You're not switching that hunger hormone off. And this is the reason why you guys just cannot stop eating and you have to eat every couple of hours. So when they come out with this bullshit that you guys are just eating too much, you are, but they have no idea why you guys are eating too much, and they will not be able to explain this to you guys, because like I said, we're focusing on the wrong message. Whereas if you guys control your hunger by bringing your carbohydrates down, controlling your insulin, focusing more on your hormones, not looking at food as just fucking calories and just fuel, then you guys are going to get the results that you want. You're going to help prevent these diseases from happening in the first place. Because as I said, the body does not require any carbohydrates at all. We can do perfectly well on a high-fat diet, guys. Very, very well. And this is the information that we're not getting. Okay, now when we look at LDL, because this is another big factor, people are absolutely convinced that LDL is the problem. But see, here's the problem right here. It's not just the LDL on its own. It's what you mix with the LDL is the problem. Now, when you mix LDL with carbohydrates, this is when you guys are going to run into problems. Okay? So think of it like this. When you're having that burger, that steak, that bacon and eggs in the morning, what else are you guys having it with? Do you see where I'm going here? Saturated fats, guys, on its own was never the problem. Okay, it's what you're eating with these foods is what's the problem. Yes, the bread, the chips, the fucking desserts, the alcohol. This is what's causing the problems, guys. So trust me when I say this. The issue is the carbohydrates. I understand that everybody enjoys them. I get it. If you guys can tolerate them, as I said, go ahead. But what I'm saying is this. If you guys are struggling and you know you're struggling with your eating habits, you're having these issues that you don't understand why they just magically appeared for no particular reason, then it's down to the amount of carbohydrates that you're eating and you need to eliminate them. Okay, write that down.